Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Jackson County Board of Supervisors meeting for Tuesday, November 5th of 2024. And we will call the meeting to order. And with me this morning, I have Don Schwenker, Ned Flagel, myself, Mike Steinitz, are your county supervisors. Lisa is our county auditor. He's here.
Good morning.
She's busy this morning, so she's ready to go. Bjorn at IT is here, and Luann, our executive assistant, and Brittany and Mary are here from the media. And we remind everyone here reminds you, Lisa, our county auditor, and the supervisors remind you that it is election day, so get out and vote. That is your right, and we encourage you to go vote. So first on our agenda today is Jaden Shekel, our Jackson County engineer.
Good morning.
Good morning.
On the agenda is our oil spill contingency plan. So we already have one in place, but all we had to do was just update it because our current one has Todd's information as county engineer. So it's just updating all the contact information to now be myself. So that's the only change as far as this goes. So I guess we recommend approval. I don't know if you guys have read it at all or all in detail, but it just goes through what happens if there's a spill, oil, hazardous material. I mean,
I read it when we put it in place. If all your changes is names,
that's all.
Second that.
Motion and a second to approve the oil SPCC plan policy as presented. All those in favor say aye. Aye opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Next is a utility permit for Macocata Valley. It's install an underground primary to a residence. They're gonna bore underneath the road. It is 184th Avenue in the Otter Creek Township. So it's in Otter Creek itself. Pretty standard stuff. So we don't see any issues with it. So we recommend approval.
Move to approve.
Second.
I got a motion and a second to approve Macocata Valley utility permit in Otter Creek Township, section 24 as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
And last is an entrance permit for a residential permit for Daniel Call. It's on Severing Ridge Road. It's an entrance permit for the new development up there, Sunset Ridge development. Plans on building in the spring, so just a standard entrance permit. We did all our site distance checks up there. That road, that portion of Sebring Ridge Road is paved and it does have a reduced speed. It's posted at 40 miles an hour, so we don't need to have the minimum 500-foot site distance. So what we do have available for site distance meets the criteria for what is required for the 40-mile-an-hour posted speed limit. It does require a culvert and all that information's here, so
what I remember of that subdivision is that it all goes in on one entrance to the lots, or is there some that access from Sebring Ridge?
there are some that are accessed from Sebring Ridge.
Okay, I thought they
It is
all
good.
access from the main to the
That new
subdivision.
268th Street, most of them do, but not all lots.
Okay,
There are a few that will be accessed off Sebring Ridge Road.
And you said this is joining the pavement, so is there
Mhm.
special stuff they have to do that way?
Nope, as far as, I mean, our standard requirement is to slope away from the road. So their low point, they'd have a low point in their driveway, which, given the terrain here, the lot's actually lower than the road, so it wouldn't be you wouldn't be coming from uphill down to the road. They'd be coming up to the road.
Okay.
There still is a ditch there, but no, I don't know if it's gonna be a paved driveway at all or not, but if they would, they just butt right up to the pavement that's out there. Otherwise it's gravel, the gravel just to butt right up to the pavement, but
Okay, move to approve.
Second.
have a motion and a second to approve Daniel Call entrance permit, Bellevue Township, section 12. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye opposed. Motion carried.
and since it's been a couple weeks since I've been in here, I just want to give you an update on construction projects. Last week, they finished and opened the road to 136th Street, our day labor bridge that's on that road. So that is open to the traffic and completed. They are working on the day labor bridge on 224th Street in the Butler Township. Working on the abutment and wing piling. And they actually just closed the road / bridge for our last day labor on 275th Street up in Otter Creek Township. They're gonna mobilize a crane in today and likely start, barring any different weather conditions, I guess, or what's expected. Plan on doing some demo work this week, end of the week up there, so. Guess since we're still on bridges, I'll update you on the one south of town here on 184th Avenue. That bridge is poured. The last, I shouldn't say last part, last large remaining portion of that project is all the earthwork shaping, and due to the rain that we've now experienced, it'll be a little bit before they can get going because it's pretty muddy out there, but the bridge is poured, all the structural concrete is done piling, so it's really just earthwork, shaping and putting the new gravel road in, so a large part of that project is completed, but just gotta get to the final stage.
Well, you haven't said muddy for a while, so that's actually a good word.
Luckily, the rain we had too was relatively soaking, it was a soaking
Yeah.
rain, it wasn't a torrential downpour, so it was much needed. But
So we did receive some pictures, I believe, last week of a finished bridge, looked really good.
yep,
So I appreciate that and keeping us updated on that, it looked good, so. We're fortunate to have a contractor close and get them projects completed in a timely manner.
because it's winter will be here before we know
Easy now.
it. If there's any other updates, our guys have just been doing ditching here and there.
I see a lot of brush cutting going on yet, so I appreciate that also. If we can maintain that somehow. There was a rather large article this morning in the paper about Dubuque County, how invasive weeds and stuff were getting away on them a little bit, so. They mentioned some weeds, or if you wanna call it, that I'm not familiar with, so don't know what they are, but might take a chance to read that a little bit and see.
Did have the opportunity to talk to some people that live on one of the roads that were reclaimed this year. And they lauded it wholeheartedly. They said it made a world of difference with cooling water and washboards and potholes, and they hope we keep up the work by digging the ditch out. So and I'm like, well, one step at a time. So we're getting there, but
Which we did, so like, for example, Severing Ridge Road, the gravel portion is one that was reclaimed this year, and that road. Along its whole 7 miles of gravel, the ditches were plumb full once prior and after we reclaimed it. I mean, they were just, there was no ditch. So our guys spent quite a bit of the summer, not all our guys, a handful of guys, spent quite a bit of the summer ditching all that 7 miles. I mean, and it turned out to be one heck of an improvement, but we did have to seed all that and mulch it because there was about 7 acres disturbed there. So one thing I really want to start having the guys do or look more at is whatever we start ditching, we should do a better job of reestablishing, like seeding
Finishing.
and mulching and
Yeah.
making it look nice. Because when you do get, like, if we wouldn't have done any of that stuff prior to this rainfall up there, we'd probably had quite a bit of erosion up there. So just, if we were to have a contractor do all that work, we would expect them to do it. So I feel like we should.
my fear is if your news that you're ditching gets out, that you're gonna have about 500 farmers calling.
Yeah,
About
that's-
their roads.
we can only do so much. But the guys have been on the roads they identify areas when they can that we've been ditching.
Yeah.
I just actually had a call with somebody about a road over east of Preston, I think, that they're planning on doing some ditching next, so. Yeah, unfortunately, we can't get to it all, but.
Yeah.
we'll
But
tackle
we're
it.
getting to it, so that's a start.
Yeah.
But and the guys are identifying it and one bit at a time, I guess, and slowly making progress.
And they're looking nice, and like the last 2 days, I drove quite a few that we've reclaimed, and you can surely tell the difference. I mean, I'll say, for example, on my road, the first part of it was reclaimed and it's in great shape. You get down the other part and you're starting to notice it's a little bit muddy and, you know, from where the water sits there from this rain, so it does make a difference.
The potholes show up in a hurry.
Yeah,
But I had really a lot of compliments on Seaver to make sure even the ditching and now just to maintain it and get it seeded down, yeah, that'd be a wonderful thing to do. I don't know if I asked you this the last or not. The resurface you did up way up north, almost to Dubuque County.
Oh, yep,
Yeah.
we haven't done it yet, or but we did the base one.
Yeah,
Yes, yep.
yeah. So do you do that in sections or is that just?
As far as what will be paved, or when paving it,
Yeah,
we'll close that third of a mile completely to allow the trucks
okay.
in and out versus for that, it's only a third of a mile. You know, like say, for example, when we do the resurfacing on Y.
So you resurfaced that one up there next to Dubuque County already though, correct? I mean, you ground it up, you said, and you
Yeah.
replaced it.
243.
you've done the base one.
We've done the
but
base one, we have not done any no
They haven't
pavement.
done the
Okay, but
pavement.
Dubuque County's is done.
Dubuque County, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I noticed, and it looked like our side of it was pieced in, patched in.
That was all, everything that's in ours is currently gravel. Everything in ours,
Okay,
everything that you've seen paved, that is Dubuque County's.
So Dubuque County has a section where it looks really nice, and then they got the section that
Yeah.
kind of looks crappy that leads
no,
into
yeah,
ours.
I thought that one part was in ours, thought I seen a green sign there, but yeah. must have.
No, we went
Okay.
right to where the gravel ends, starts, whatever you wanna call it, that is where their new surface portion from a couple of years ago, that's where that ended, so that is the line. Maybe the post might not be,
Yeah,
the county line post might not be right at the line, but
okay,
our work terminated at the line. And that is planned for Friday, I guess I should tell you that too, for asphalt,
okay,
so.
interesting. And that is what again, too?
243rd Avenue
Mhm.
turns into Dayton Road.
Yeah. Okay, any other questions for Jaden? Thank you,
You bet.
have a good day.
You too.
Are there any visitors or citizens with us this morning that would like to approach the board? You just here for good looks, John?
I'm just here to wondering if you guys found anything out about that building deal.
The data mining, I think Lori's on the schedule for
Yep.
9:20, so it'll be here
Oh,
shortly.
okay.
Lisa?
So this morning, I need a motion to approve the minutes of the October 29th, 2024 board proceedings as written by Auditor Smith and authorized publication in the official newspapers.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second to approve the minutes from October 29th, 2024 board proceedings and published as presented. All those in favor say aye. Aye opposed, motion carried.
I need a motion to approve and authorize the auditor's office to issue warrants and the publication of the claims listing in the amount of $421,196.83.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the claims for $421,196.83. With a side note, there was 74,000 that was a pass-through from the EOC grant, and there was over 200,000 in a bridge project that was paid. So just a note for you, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, motion carried.
I need a motion to accept, place on file, and authorize the chair and auditor signatures on the recorder's report of fees collected for the month of October 2024 in the amount of $52,111.47.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve and place on file the county recorder's report of fees collected in the amount of $52,111.47. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye opposed, motion carried.
That's all that I have for the board today. I didn't know if we need to discuss it now or later.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's just a change of our meeting. We'll publish it if we do change it. Is that the case?
Well, I mean, in looking forward here to next week, we are off on Monday for the holiday. It's Veterans Day on Monday. And we do have some, what they call UOCAVA, which is the Uniformed Overseas Civilians. They have extra time to return their ballots. We do have some out. So there is a potential that we may have some provisional ballots. We won't know about provisional ballots until the end of today. But between UOCAVA and provisional ballots and the time frame, that is required by law, I'm asking if you would consider moving next Tuesday's meeting to next Wednesday instead. So instead of the 12th, I'd like to meet on the 13th so we can canvass.
I blocked off at 11. That's all right. You can do it Wednesday at 11.
It's up to you, but I mean,
Fine.
I know if you have to go, you can come back and sign later. Okay, because there will be, all of the signing that needs to be done. So I have received a phone call from an out-of-state, somebody from out of state that wants to know all of the time frame of the canvas. And so I just need to reply back to that.
Yeah, I don't have an issue I got an appointment at 9 that morning, but that's fine. I can do 11 the way it looks.
Make a motion, we do Wednesday at 11 for next week's meeting of November 13th.
Second.
Motion and second to move next week's meeting from the November 12th to November 13th at 11 a.m. All those in favor say aye.
Right.
Aye opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That'll help us out. Thank you. And that's all that I have for the board today.
Okay, Luann, are you available?
You want to do audience too?
I'm sorry?
You didn't skip the audience portion.
No, I didn't.
Oh, did?
I asked for it.
Sorry.
Nobody, I've asked John if he wanted to get up, but he
Three.
didn't want to. Good morning.
Good morning. All right, all I have for you today is the calendar. Tomorrow is Wednesday, November 6th at 9 a.m. There's an RTA board meeting in Dubuque or by Zoom for all of you. 4:30 tomorrow is Wednesday's our possible meeting with the home-based Iowa designation at Innovate 120 for any of you. And I think Don is going to be the guest speaker at that event. 6 p.m. tomorrow night is the E911 Service Board meeting here in the supervisor's office or by Zoom for Mike. Thursday, November 7th at 6 p.m. is a zoning work session with the Board of Supervisors in the community room downstairs for all of you. Monday, November 11th is Veterans Day. The courthouse will be closed all day that day. Tuesday, November 12th at 4 p.m. is tentatively a Maquoketa River Watershed Management Authority Executive Committee meeting by Zoom for Don. And from 5 to 7 Tuesday night is the Community Foundation of Jackson County's annual event, also at Innovate 120 for any of you that want to attend that. Our next meeting, as just decided, will be Wednesday, November 13th at 11 a.m. Mike is on the radio at KMAQ that morning at 9 o'clock. At 1 p.m. is tentatively a 0 to 5 and 60 minutes meeting by Zoom for NIN. At 4 p.m. is tentatively a Veterans Affairs Commission meeting for any of you that want to attend that. And at 6:30 that night is a tentatively a municipal league meeting. I believe that's supposed to be at the Andrew Fire Department.
Correct.
I think that was all I had for you because Lisa took care of setting the meeting date, which is great, so.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
Next on our agenda is Lori Rowling, our Jackson County zoning administrator. Good morning.
Morning, all. So we're looking to rescind a resolution that was a moratorium on data mining. So yes,
So we left it last week, we talked, and let me think, was there other information that we wanted to gather? As far as, the only question I have is if we lift the moratorium, then they still apply. And can we do this a case by case?
we is in the Board of Adjustment, we not as in the Board of Supervisors.
Okay,
Because
It's out of your hands. It's just.
it goes to the Board of Adjustment.
okay,
So,
and they handle it on a case by case basis.
correct.
The only
And-
thing I'm getting at is like we talked about it last week. This is, right now, they're proposing a pod or two, or whatever you wanna call them, a container with equipment inside and some, maybe some fans, and.
Yeah, they'll be
The
bigger
im-
than just a pod or two.
But the information I've gathered is there's really no issues that anybody can come up with that I've talked to on the other sides of this.
I'm sure there'll be some people that can come up with issues, yeah.
Sure, I get
But
it.
are they truly issues?
But I still want to have the option to know what the plan is for each site.
We will, when, they will have to apply. And in this case, since they're buying the land, there will be, a zoning commission hearing beforehand to do a rezoning. Because we probably move this into industrial, for this use. Because I don't see it being a special exception use in A1 if they own the land.
If they own the land, correct, I would
Mhm.
agree with that.
Yeah, so there would be the zoning commission, which they make recommendation to rezone, which would come to you. And then it would have to go to the Board of Adjustment for the conditional use.
The only thing I would like to see is if we do lift this moratorium, is maybe to look at not so much I don't want there to be 200 data centers all of a sudden show up across Jackson County. I would like to see somewhat contained, or, to the point where you can't go then, because then if you sprinkle 200 across Jackson County, now you're talking constant noise, all that kind of stuff, power draw, all that, so I do want to see somehow a limitation of the number. Not that I don't want it, I just don't want it everywhere, because
Right.
again, when you're talking that much energy usage, you're really talking about grid stability, that kind of stuff, so.
Right, which I know REC, Macocota Valley Electric, takes that in consideration before they would even allow it. And I don't think we'd have to worry about 200 or anything like that, because we don't have that many substations in our county, I don't believe.
Just as long as there's some kind of, I don't want to say restriction, but there's a cap, a
Yeah.
limit that we can handle, so.
And then too, that might be something, when we are actually writing the ordinance, when we get to that point, because we will, it'll come when we do our ordinance rewrite, which, by the way, I'm waiting for a presentation from ECIA yet. I talked to Laura last week, because we had talked probably about 2.5 months ago. And you guys gave me the okay to get, quotes on that. So we're working on that. But anyway, but yes, that would be something to address when we're doing the ordinance.
I'm a little bit worried yet about the decommissioning. If that would come about.
Okay.
Type of deal.
The one thing I think we wanna, on this one, I wanna just kind of, I'm trying to steer you what you're thinking, just because they're not leasing the land, they're gonna own the land. And so when we have a farm service agency or, a mom and pop shop coming up, we don't ask them what they're gonna do with the building or what's gonna happen afterwards.
I get that, but there also could be land that they do end up leasing.
There could be, but yeah, we'd wanna make sure that we don't
So-
cloud that though.
Right, but again, I don't wanna see these storage containers, they come in for 5 years and they do this and
Mhm.
oh, we're not doing it no more.
Mhm.
And now we just have storage containers sitting all over Jackson County
Mhm.
with weeds growing around them and full of computer stuff and
E-waste, yeah.
waste
I would-
that way.
Would it fall back into our zoning then as a nuisance if we?
It would.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would,
But then it's still gonna cost the county to debate these or do whatever, and if
to
it
a
gets to that point,
point, yeah,
You
but
know,
hopefully. it
I
wouldn't.
mean, I'm just trying to look long-term and
And two, there's plenty of other things that we don't have, we need to get some, we're worried about decommissioning language now because it's coming up. But we don't have it on our cell towers. Or anything like that, they got those big boxes and generators and those big sheds, they're full of batteries.
Yeah.
So that's something that we need to address coming up in the future, but going forward,
again,
but
I
I
don't wanna not address it because we
Oh, I
haven't
know.
addressed it in the
I
past,
know.
it's
The
that
biggest
whole,
decommissioning.
we haven't
for me-
ever done it before thing, I don't like.
Decommissioning for these, to me, isn't as big a deal as like windmills, because
Oh,
they're not
absolutely.
going 40 some feet into the ground with cement on. but.
Yeah, but you still got e-waste sitting around and you
Right.
got
Potentially, yeah.
So, I think that-
contaminations that could end up being strewed all over whatever if. You know, sheds are allowed to decapitate. Break down. And,
Become decrepit.
yeah,
See, I did have another company approach me. Cause I'm right on that REC station, all right? And they wanted to rent ground, but I said, no, if you guys do it, you're purchasing it, cause I'm not getting stuck, you know, with. So. That is why this JR Energy, they're willing to buy the ground and then it's theirs and they wanna put theirs on a Smith Foundation, the way I understand it.
Yeah.
and just for the record, can you identify yourself?
Oh, I'm Bob Ringen.
Okay, thank you.
Property owner down in, Iowa Township?
Oh, me, Van
Yeah.
Buren.
Van Buren, okay. No, it's close.
So again, it has to go to the board of adjustment
Yeah.
with specifications first, correct?
Correct.
All right.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
That could be something that we make sure that is part of the conditional use.
I make a motion to rescind. Ordinance 1066-09-1724. Or approve resolution
Resolution.
1078, which rescinds the old one.
I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second to rescind the moratorium resolution number 1066-09-17-2024 and approve resolution 1078-11-01-2024 as presented. Is that okay?
Mhm.
We can do both at the same time.
Yeah, because that's what the effect of the resolution is to. rescind.
Correct. All those in favor say aye. Aye opposed, say motion carried. Okay, any other business?
No, I just gotta go back to my corner.
Don't start.
I gotta go back to my corner. I hit the ground running. so-
It is election day.
Oh, gosh, you guys, never mind, I won't even go there. So anyway, yes, I'll be ready for Thursday.
There you go.
Have a good day.
Good. You took the morning off?
Uh,
Oh, yeah, I got Terry's.
So, I know we don't want to hold Lisa up too long here. Is there any other business before the board this morning?
Motion adjourned.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye opposed, same sign. Motion carried and meeting adjourned. And please, reminder again, get out there and vote.
And I just wanna tip the hat to the election, the poll watchers, the volunteers, the workers. It's gonna be a long day. We appreciate it. That's what, 13, 14
Well, I will
hours.
tell you, I went in this morning, me and my wife voted, and they were nice and chipper and smiley, and they're all having a good time, yeah.
I'll tell you how they are tonight.
They say, it's almost like they're looking forward to pizza or something about noon or 1 o'clock.
We don't do that.
We appreciate their service.